Let me start by framing today's discussion. When we talk about public spending, we often lump everything together, but not all spending is equal in terms of economic impact. The real distinction lies between current spending, essentially operational or consumption-oriented, and public investment, which builds assets and capabilities for the future. Our session explores how to strike the right balance between the two, both in India's context and from a global perspective. Here we see the big picture of how India is allocating its budget. The capital expenditure, 11.21 lakh rupees crore, may look smaller than revenue expenditure, but its impact is often far greater. Why? Because capital expenditure builds schools, roads, digital infrastructure, things that boost economic productivity. Including capital grants, the effective capital spending is even higher. This signals the government's strategic focus on growth, not just maintenance. This trend shows commitment. Despite the shocks from COVID and global volatility, India has steadily increased its capital spending. That's not easy to do, especially with revenue pressures. It reflects a shift in mindset towards long-term capacity creation. The key areas, like infrastructure and digital tech, align with our aspirations for competitiveness and resilience. However, this also brings pressure to ensure this money is spent well. Globally, India is ahead in terms of investment to GDP ratio, which is promising. But if you dig deeper, advanced economies focus a lot on education and economic affairs, sectors with long-term dividends. Another difference is decentralization. OECD countries delegate a majority of public investment to local governments, who often have better knowledge of on-ground needs. India can draw lessons here in strengthening federal fiscal architecture and accountability. One reason we emphasize capital expenditure is its multiplier effect. Think of it this way. If the government builds a bridge, it doesn't just create jobs during construction. It improves connectivity, lowers transport costs, encourages trade, and invites private businesses. That's short-term stimulus and long-term growth in one package. Especially in downturns, public investment is a powerful counter-cyclical tool, more effective than direct subsidies or handouts. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Just spending more isn't enough. Many countries, including India, face what we call the efficiency gap, a situation where outcomes don't match inputs. According to IMF research, we could generate 55% more infrastructure output with the same budget if we improve how we manage and deliver projects. That means better project selection, faster approvals, timely execution, and accountability for results. India's growth story is strongly tied to public infrastructure. What we're seeing now is a classic virtuous cycle. Investment in roads, airports, logistics, and digital infra is boosting construction, lowering costs for manufacturers, and encouraging private firms to invest. This shows the crowding in effect at work, but it also puts pressure on public investment efficiency. Any leakages or delays dilute this multiplier. This is where strategy meets politics. Governments often face a trade-off. Should we invest for future gains, or spend on current consumption to meet immediate expectations? Add to this the constraints from fiscal rules, which may not differentiate between borrowing for a bridge versus borrowing for salaries. The solution lies in smart fiscal frameworks, those that incentivize quality investment while maintaining debt sustainability. What do leading economies do differently? They focus not just on how much is spent, but how well it's managed. The OECD's toolkit emphasizes coordination, especially since 60% of investment is at the subnational level. Another key is structured PPP models, with transparency, proper risk sharing, and rigorous procurement. India has had mixed experiences with PPPs, but there is scope for improvement through better design and execution. These are actionable ideas. First, use frameworks like the Public Investment Management Assessment, PIMA, to audit our systems. Second, track outcomes, not just outlays. KPIs, audits, performance-based budgeting can help. And finally, break down silos between center and states. A bridge built by the state and a road maintained by the center should connect seamlessly. Alignment and collaboration matter. Let's conclude with a roadmap. In the short term, we focus on systems, project appraisal, capacity building, and coordination. In the medium term, we reform fiscal rules and performance systems. And in the long term, we institutionalize efficiency by building resilient institutions and integrating climate resilience and PPP frameworks. But implementation must be monitored continuously with measurable KPIs and feedback mechanisms. To wrap up, public investment isn't just a budgetary choice, it's a strategic one. Done right, it fuels productivity, equity, and long-term growth. But the key lies not just in spending more, but spending wisely. Thank you, and I look forward to an open dialogue.